Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, comment, upvote, and join our Subtext community. The link for that is in the description. I'm here with Tom Vanderford for his weekly segment. How are we doing, Tom?
Hey, I'm doing groovy.
Yeah, we got a nice new look Locked On Ole Miss podcast set up here. This is like the first time we've used this one.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Ross Dellinger just reported that the SEC is going to go 1 year, only 1 year, at 8 games and then move to 9 games. And part of these 8 games is going to be preserving these rivalries like LSU, the third Saturday in October, the Deep South's oldest rivalry, the stuff that we wanted, the demands that we had, and I'm not saying they listened to us, but what we were yelling about all week on this channel, it looks like that is going to be taken care of moving forward. But a temp situation like this, it always makes me nervous that this is going to be temporarily permanent. So we'll see whenever they get to Destin next year if they keep their word.
Right, yeah. I'm sure there are certain teams in the conference that like the 4 non-conference games so they can get their guaranteed 4 wins, and then they only have to win 2 conference games to get to some minor bowl. But I think our aspirations are higher, and I'm not too worried about that. I think our mindset is bring it on, let's play. And so I'm looking forward to the 9-game SEC schedule. You know, you got to think about it. Look, we had a 10-game nothing but SEC schedule during COVID. So, and I loved it. It was SEC game every week. You didn't have to worry about, flipping the channels and watching somebody play the Sisters of the Poor or whatever it is. It was really good football. So I'm looking forward to that. And, like the old saying goes, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Absolutely. And I think it was Mississippi State. Mississippi State doesn't necessarily have a secondary rival. I was trying to think of who Mississippi State's rival other than Ole Miss was. What game would be so important if they'd be upset if they missed?
Yeah, I've got a friend at work that says that their secondary rival is Alabama, but because they're so close to each other, I guess, on the same highway. But I don't know. You're supposed to win your rivalry games every once in a while, so I don't know.
Yeah,
yes, that.
I was thinking, Arkansas has kind of turned into something, but it's not where Ole Miss and Arkansas is. And LSU just laughs at the idea of playing State. Maybe A&M?
Maybe because, I know State would like that because in the past few years they've won more than they've lost with A&M. So they usually fit and match up well against them. So that would be something. But, ours are easy. I mean, our top 2 rivals are LSU and State.
Mm-hmm. Probably number 3.
A lot of my friends,
Arkansas is number 3. Yeah.
Sir?
Arkansas is number 3, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say Alabama 3. I'd say Arkansas is probably number 4.
I wouldn't put Alabama up at 3. I would put Alabama at like 5. I think Arkansas and then Vanderbilt because they played Vanderbilt 100 times.
Long history with Vanderbilt. We really have, and we've had some really good teams, and they've come in and waxed our behinds too. So, it's It that is a good rivalry. I doubt if the SEC will keep that for us though. I think our permanents are going to be if we go to 9 games are going to be LSU, State, and Arkansas. I think that's what we'll get.
Yeah, that sounds about right, and that's honestly fair. It'll be fun. That's kind of what the fans want.
Yeah, exactly, and let Missouri and Arkansas and Oklahoma and Texas, let them have their old rivalries that they used to have, and and A&M, of course, the Texas A&M game will be back, and that's good for college football. But no, I think a 9-game SEC season is wonderful.
Yeah, I think the 9-game SEC season needs to be kept with the Power 5 game. Everybody shouldn't get out of these
Yeah,
Power 5 games. It should be required because Kentucky plays Louisville, Florida, Florida State, South Carolina, Clemson. It wouldn't exactly be fair for them to keep those rivals if the rest of the SEC is playing the weak sisters of the poor for their 3 games.
yeah,
So I do think it should be 9 SEC games and a Power 5 game.
oh, I agree. I 100%. But
You know,
that's good. And that's what the SEC's about. And you got to compete. We're fixing. I'm kind of a segue into our roster. We're gonna have and I said this last year, but it's true this year. We're gonna have the most loaded roster that we've had in the modern era.
mm-hmm.
I mean, we're gonna be stacked, and especially at Xavion. Is that his name, Xavion?
Oh, you talking about
The
Scar
guy
Franklin, the UTSA
No,
guy?
that's it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Xavion Harris for some reason, but anyway, yeah. If we get the kid from UTSA,
Mm.
we're gonna be in good shape at receiver, and we've picked up enough DBs. We're gonna be good there. You've mentioned it over and over that linebacker's good. I believe that's true. I think we've got tons on the defensive line. Offensive line looks good. Skill players look good. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody in the SEC is going to be good for the
Yeah.
most part.
You have to do
But
it.
exactly. I think we're going to surprise some people. I really do. I know it's going to be the first year in Pete Golding's system, but I feel confident that we've got some good football minds on defense and that we're going to be okay. I also feel confident that we didn't see anything uh, at all, basically, in the spring game as far as defense. That was beyond vanilla, and I really don't think we'll see anything super good until we hit SEC play.
Yeah, speaking of recruiting and Golding and new system and all that, this is the first weekend they're starting the official visits because June 1st, it made it to where you could take as many official visits as you want to do. Used to, everybody was like trying to get that official visit to know whether or not a player was
Okay.
actually interested. Now that player could have
Yeah.
20 official visits, so you're not really going to be able to do that as well. But Dylan Hipp, a tight end out of Arizona, is on campus. I think Joseph Cryer is on campus. I think 2 others are as well. Football-wise, defense. There's a basketball-wise. There's a 2024 7-footer that decommitted from Auburn
Yeah.
that's on campus right now as well.
You talk about that 2024 7-foot center that decommitted from Auburn, and then you see that Flanagan is one of our assistant coaches. I think that bodes well for us. I really do. I think we've recruited lights out in the portal, in my opinion, in men's basketball. We've done well in women's basketball in the portal. Done good in football in the portal. So the portal has been kind so far to Ole Miss as far as I can tell.
Yeah, they just got a commitment from Jalen Murray from St. Peter's, the Peacocks, looking to come to Ole Miss. This is a point guard from New York City. Super quick. He's a little bit taller than Ruffin, but honestly, he's as quick as a pre-surgery Ruffin was. You just saw him going by people in his highlight tape. And he looks like he's a little bit of a volume 3-point shooter. Either way, with the talent that this basketball team has assembled, I mean, Chris Beard's just doing a heck of a job right now.
Oh, I completely agree. I've never been a huge basketball fan. Everybody that knows me knows I'm a football fanatic, but I've been impressed with what he's done, and the people that I listen to that do know about basketball were all saying, all we need is a point guard, man. All we need is a point guard. All we need is a point guard. And then we get this kid from St. Peter's. So I think Chris Beard knows what he's doing. I think we're going to be the most improved team in the SEC at basketball.
Yeah, kind
And
of feels like he knows what he's doing for some reason.
yeah, Yeah, well, I mean, his record shows it. His recruiting record shows it. He made it to the finals at Texas Tech. So that's pretty good pedigree as far as I'm concerned. And I love Coach Yo. I think she's doing good. Um, I wasn't surprised to see that they didn't extend Coach Bianco's contract after this year. Of course, if he has a really good year next year, I'm sure that they'll. It's and I'm sure Keith Carter and Coach Bianco are big boys. They know that he got rewarded for last year with a new contract, and they know that he couldn't be extended this year because of the record. Of course, we had lots of injuries and stuff, but at the same time, that's just how business is. If you excel, you're rewarded, and if you don't, you're not rewarded. So
that is absolutely right. Anyway, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. Every day or tomorrow on the show, we'll have Brian Smith talking recruiting. Actually, we talked about the commitment out of the kid from New Orleans that runs a 10-2-100. I think it's Raji Dennis. And we talked about what that means in the scheme of a Lane Kiffin offense. We always talk about this offense is designed to torture linebackers. Whenever the jet sweep is not an option because of bad snaps like it was last year, makes the offense a little bit simpler. Whenever the tight end gets hurt, it gets a little simpler. And then all of a sudden the linebackers can just focus on number 4 and can wreak havoc. We talked to him about what Lane Kiffin is doing to fix that issue. Anyway, Tom, thank you so much for stopping by, man, and we'll talk to you next week, bud.
Hey, thanks, man, and hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.